Appreciate everybody coming in today. Need to call a meeting to order, so if everyone please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And a reminder, please silence your cell phone. Ms. Fiddles, do you have roll call?
Mayor Plummer,
I'm here.
Commissioner Brooks.
Here.
Commissioner Fields.
Here.
Commissioner Gray.
Here.
Commissioner Galbraith.
Here.
We have a quorum and ready for the transaction of business.
Okay, thank you. I'll turn the time over to Matt Belcher, our new city manager. So
Well, thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. I'm glad to be here. First, item on the agenda is the approval of minutes for the regular meeting of July 22nd, 2025. Is there any comments, additional changes or corrections to this?
So moved.
Correct. We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Second item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the joint city-county meeting of July 22nd, 2025. Are there any changes, corrections, or additions to those? We have a motion and a second. Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. We also have, next item on the agenda is that we have Mr. Charles Trumbo here to talk about the Paris Western Monument. Was there public comment?
Yes,
sir.
Please.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm in awe because this is the very first time I've attended a city council meeting.
it's just, don't be in all.
It's my first time too, so.
Oh, okay. We're in the same boat then.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go ahead and state my purpose to why I'm here today. When integration came about, surrounding communities preserved the black schools. I'm talking about the structure, the buildings. If they did not, they would build another school. It might be an elementary, it might be a middle school, and they would put the name of the black high school on. Case in point, I live in Lexington. Lexington and Dunbar, out there on Main Award. Well, old Dunbar still exists. It's there on North Upper Street, part of Park and Recreation. Frederick Douglass on Winchester Road. Well, old Douglass still stands. It's over on Price Road. It's an apartment for the elderly over there, okay? Well, in Paris, neither one of those happened. The building's not over there anymore. They have not built a middle school, an elementary school, or any other kind of school and put the name on it. They have built, there's a gymnasium, there's an auditorium, and there's a weight training facility that they've constructed since integration, okay? And there's a couple other buildings that they've obtained. It's one on Cypress and 7th Street, Old Days Laundromat, and then used to be a church down on the other end of the football field down there. But Paris Weston, under the name Weston, hadn't gone on any of it. So what I decided to do, and I'll go ahead and throw this out, I never went to Weston a day in my life. I had 6 brothers and sisters that did go there. So I decided back in early April to start fundraising to get a monument built in honor of that school because they deserve it. Okay? I began to fundraise. The fundraise is gone really, really well. In fact, over the half the money is already raised, and the other half was going to get raised. Okay? And I selected a location for it. It's at Western Way and West 7th Street. I went through the protocol. I think this young lady right here has helped me through it. Gave me all the forms that I needed to for the approval. The person that lives in the home over there, signed off on it. So that's where we are on it, okay? And let me say this. I need the support on this project of everybody in this room to get it done. I've had a couple of people, I'm calling names, I've had a couple of people to step up and help out with the project. But I need the support and help of everybody in this room to get this monument built. I should have got it out and passed it around. Alone, Parish Western basketball team winning a national championship in 1953. That's enough in itself right there to get a monument built. And they didn't get a gym until 1955. And one gentleman told me, he said, well, they had to win a national championship before they could get a gym built. I went through that myself coming up. In fact, let me throw this out too. Mayor Plummer and I was in school together, played basketball together at Bourbon County. And in fact, I had never been in a gymnasium until I hit Bourbon County in 1961. So all I'm saying is, Western deserves this monument. It's a nice size. Look here, took a picture of it. I got it in here somewhere. It's 7 feet high, 4 feet in width, and 8 inches thick. Yeah, you don't see it. That's about what it will look like. And it has all the principles throughout the duration of school. According to my research, and really right now, my research is the only one that counts. Okay. It started up in 1880 and went out in 1963. And I think the building itself, Sharon, you can help me out. The building stayed around a few years after that, right?
It did.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was used partially as a senior citizen center for a while.
Okay. And let me throw this out also. In fact, I was in Mount Sterling. I participated in these 5K runs. I did one up in Mount Sterling this past weekend. They salvaged their gym up there. School burned down, but they salvaged the gymnasium. And I had somebody to take me over and look at it, and it's beautiful in there. In fact, they went out. The city of Mount Sterling raised $49,000 for the upkeep of that gym. They didn't stop there. They sat down and they wrote a grant. They wrote a grant. And guess what they got? They got $300,000. So they got $300,000. It can be done like, I went out on faith in getting this done. And like I say, the last time I called up there to, because all the donations are sent directly to Jeff up here, Jeff Johnson at the funeral home. Well over half the money's raised. So all I need is, and like I say, and you know what? If over there, if that's not the place for it, I don't care where it goes, as long as it goes up. Thank you all for your time.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Charles.
Before you leave, Charles, hold on. Michelle,
Yes, ma'am.
does Charles need to take any other steps or do any other paperwork through planning and zoning?
There will need to be a signature from the other owner. There is a gentleman.
Can you stand up?
There is a gentleman that is a partial owner in that property who has shown up in my office and specifically said that he did not want to put on that property. If you can get the signature of that gentleman, that would be great. Otherwise, at this point, my hands are tied.
Okay.
And we've got this might, I haven't seen it, this is the first time hearing this, might fall under the sign ordinance,
Okay.
that there's a process that would need to be followed,
Okay.
Would just be the Board of Adjustment.
and that goes right, and that goes to the Board of Adjustment.
Did you hear?
I did not.
So we have a sign ordinance in the city. the controls, and it's based on different zones, whether it's residential zone, commercial zone, that type of thing. That's all pretty heavily regulated. It goes first through Michelle's office, but there's ways to get exemptions to that. Historical markers are one of those. I don't know what all the details are to be a historical marker. That surely sounds really close, to be totally honest. So I think just follow that process, and whatever help Michelle needs, honestly, I'll be there to help
If
weigh
we
in.
can get the signature of that gentleman first, then we can move forward with the permit process.
Do you know his address?
I do not, he did not give me an address.
Can you give me his name?
I would if I could, I cannot.
You cannot?
It's been over 8 months since he's been in here, and it was.
Does he live here in Bourbon County?
I've not seen him. Not sure.
We'll trace the deed down and get the information.
If there's general, if there's a general, mood of support for the project among commission, I'll be glad to work with staff, with Mr. Trumbo in terms of, the location.
Yeah.
And, all the particulars, and work with Michelle in her office. So if there's general support among the commission to support the project, I'll be glad to move forward with it and go from there. So, and if there's any, follow-up that needs to be done, I can bring that back to the commission, if that's the desire of the commission.
It is.
Sure. Do we want to voice vote or just? I think the general consensus is that there's support among the commission, Mr. Trumbo, and I'll be glad to work with you moving forward, Mike and staff and Michelle, and go from there. And if there's something that needs to be brought back for an official vote, I'll be glad to do that. Does that work?
So I'll have to track this person down.
We'll get with you.
Yeah, we'll work with you and we can work through Michelle to obtain the necessary signatures or look at alternative locations if that's. the
Yeah,
case.
that was the
Yeah.
next thing
And I'll be
I
glad
was
to-
gonna comment on. I selected that site over, I don't care where the monument goes,
Right.
as long as it goes up.
So as long as it's not impeding traffic or line of sight, or if we've got a, administrative.
And I honestly believe Mr.
Size, distance and all that, I can work with you on that.
Mr. McCauley over there has been very supportive of me in this project. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he would put it on Paris's campus somewhere. So I don't care where it goes, as long as it goes up.
Yeah.
I'll get your name I'll get your number and we'll follow up. You got it, Michelle?
Okay,
Does
thank
that
you.
work? Thank
Thank
you.
you, Charles.
Absolutely. Next item on the agenda, we had a second reading of an ordinance, a zoning, map amendment ordinance. I want to turn it over to Brian. I think he has details on that. I think
Thank you,
some
Mr.
folks to speak.
Yeah, I think there's, I think at least two, or maybe only two, speakers you hear from this morning. Let me go ahead and read the ordinance and then I'll make the introduction. So this, if passed, would be ordinance 2025-18, which is an ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of Paris for property owned by Travis and Heidi Potter, located at 195 Bethlehem Road. It'll be moving from an existing residential R5 classification to a business B2, consisting of 0.679 acres, more or less, as there have been major economic and physical changes within the area that were not anticipated at the time of the adoption of the 2017 comprehensive plan, and this comes to you pursuant to the recommendation of approval by the Joint Planning Commission after their public hearing back earlier in the summer, or I guess it was in May. So Attorney Josh Hart is here. He will present on behalf of Potters, and then I think the speaking in opposition is Ms. Dampier, Connie Dampier, who's going to speak a little bit of time on behalf of several members of the called the Westridge neighborhood. Is that good enough? Okay. So Josh, you'll come forward and introduce yourself.
Josh, if you can state your name and
Certainly.
position for the clerk.
Joshua Hart, I'm counsel for Heidi and Travis Potter, the applicants. And just have a few brief comments. I don't want to belabor anything. My clients applied to rezone this property because they wish to repurpose this small, approximately 2/3 of an acre lot to put in a coffee shop at that location. And of course, being an existing R5 zone, they knew that they couldn't put that in that R5. And so they set about working with me and working with the planning staff to see about rezoning that property. Now that property is, as I said, it's a very small property that's at question. It's 2/3 of an acre. It's not a significant development or anything like that. And I know you have this in your packet, just for reference. It is surrounded on two corners or two sides by existing B2 zones. And in fact, it's not just a B2 zone. That is the largest contiguous B2 zone anywhere in the city of Paris, is that it is bordered on by two sides. So it's already very much at the periphery of a B2 zone as it is. Noteworthy is the fact that the 7-acre tract directly across Bethlehem Road and extending even further south than where the 195 Bethlehem Road is, that 7-acre tract, so over 10 times the size of this particular tract, is already zoned as B2. And so with regard to the factual findings that I think are relevant and that have been found by the Planning Commission and that are relevant for the commission here, as you will know better than I, not being from Paris, but as you will know, there have been a number of economic and developments and a number of changes in the area, a number of changes in those B2 zones, a number of changes just further north of that that were not contemplated nearly a decade ago when the 2017 comprehensive plan was adopted. And the planning staff acknowledged this reality in their report. I believe you have a copy of the planning staff's report in your packet as well. They acknowledged that reality, acknowledged that that was the basis, the impetus for this rezoning, and recommended approval to the Planning Commission. For its part, when the Planning Commission heard that, reviewed the materials, the same materials that you have, the Planning Commission reviewed that. They acknowledged the changes as well, and it was based upon those developments, those changes in the economic, physical, and social nature of the property and the surrounding area that undergirded and was the basis for the Planning Commission recommending this rezoning. Now, I'll just briefly state there were some objections, and obviously those who were opposed to it will speak for themselves, and I don't wish to speak for them. They will speak in a moment, I anticipate. But I do just want to go ahead and anticipate some of the objections that were expressed below in front of the Planning Commission. And really, as I understood the objections, they really can be predominantly boiled down to one overarching objection, and that is the belief that it is possible that this coffee shop, if this property is used as a coffee shop, would increase traffic on Bethlehem Road. Concerns that the traffic on Bethlehem Road is already too congested as it is. I've got a couple of comments to make to that. First of all, I'll just say that I don't believe that there's really any proof or indication that, or really an expectation that this coffee shop is going to substantially impact the traffic on Bethlehem Road or anywhere else for that matter. First of all, the number of customers in and out of a coffee shop are not particularly significant in comparison to other businesses. For example, other businesses which may imminently relocate exactly across Bethlehem Road in that 7-acre lot. And so I just don't think there's going to be a whole lot of traffic. It also presupposes that the vehicles going in and out of the coffee shop are not already on Bethlehem Road. In other words, for there to be an increase in the traffic on Bethlehem Road, that would mean that people are coming from other places that are not already on Bethlehem Road and not just stopping in. In other words, people who are stopping in on their way to work, on their way to school, on their way to their children's homes, wherever it is, when people are simply pulling off of the road into this coffee shop and then going back onto the road, that's not increasing traffic. You're simply capturing the traffic that's already there. And ironically, for every 2 or 3 cars that are in the lot at the coffee shop, that's 2 or 3 cars that are not on Bethlehem Road at that moment. So as a matter of fact, it actually does have a marginal effect of actually relieving some of the traffic congestion on Bethlehem Road. I would say that, there were a number of concerns about traffic and the potential for increased traffic. However, we don't anticipate that this use would increase the traffic. Certainly, it's not going to increase the traffic substantially in light of other likely developments in the already existing B2 zones around there. Most noteworthy being that directly to the west on the other side of Bethlehem Road. And so if a coffee shop like this use is permissible on the west side of Bethlehem Road, exactly to the west, it is difficult to justify not allowing it on the east side of Bethlehem Road in this particular lot. I know there was also, very briefly, a comment that was made or some concern about using what has historically, as my understanding, been a residence, a home, and there was some testimony or some concern expressed in front of the Planning Commission, objection to using a house, a residence, for a business when there is a housing shortage in Bourbon County. And I'll just sort of briefly and respectfully say that, observations about housing shortage in the broader Bourbon County area are not particularly salient with regard to a housing shortage specifically in Paris and specifically in this region of Paris. And once again, we're talking about a single structure and a 2/3 of an acre lot. This is just statistically not going to have a substantial impact of any kind on any kind of existing housing shortage or otherwise. I'd be happy to ask or answer any questions that you may have and address any concerns you may have.
I think they have yours.
Thank you. Okay. I can be happy to answer any other questions if any come up. Thank you for your time as well.
And I think Ms. Dampier's going to speak for a few minutes as well. Welcome back.
If you could state your
I
name.
don't really care to be here. However,
If you could state your name for the.
Connie Dampier.
Thank you.
So let me, I'm sure that the planning and zoning gave you copies of what we presented, but just in case you have it here.
Yeah, they do. They have.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
This is just copies of the color portion of the data that we have. These are pictures that we have taken from your neighborhood showing the traffic.
So,
I believe last time,
were the photographs in the record below the planning commission?
the photographs were mentioned in the.
So if they weren't admitted below and passed out, we can't pass them out and consider them today, because that's what they do.
How about this comment?
That's in your,
That
that
was
was
in
presented,
part.
yes. Just hold these up, showing you the traffic from your neighborhood trying to get out. So thank you all for having us to speak. So I'm representing the Westridge Neighborhood Association and also other citizens that have concerns that drive on that road, and they're here also. So listed below are three concerns we presented to the Planning and Zoning Commission on May 29th on opposing the zone change from R5 to B2. The committee voted 8-3 to approve the zoning change. The Westridge Neighborhood Association opposes the rezoning change on the property at 195 Bethlehem Road from R5 to B2. This letter outlines the reasons for their opposition.
Increased traffic. The proposed rezoning would lead to an increase in traffic on Bethlehem Road and Rolling Acres Lane. Due to the current traffic on Bethlehem Road, it is now difficult to get out of their Westridge Lane neighborhood. That's what these photos show, is us trying to get out of their neighborhood. As Bethlehem Road traffic already includes 3 schools, multiple neighborhoods, and a very popular golf course, the increase in traffic would pose a safety hazard. This increase in traffic poses serious safety risks to pedestrians, especially children and elderly residents, and would result in higher incidents of accidents. The Bourbon County 2017 Comprehensive Plan listed Bethlehem Road as an area of concern due to the amount of traffic daily. Attached, Exhibit 1 is data from the Kentucky Transportation Center that shows the AADT, or Annual Average Daily Traffic, for Kentucky 1939 Bethlehem Road from 27 to Castle Boulevard was 6,455 vehicles per day in 2021. According to the Kentucky Transportation Traffic, I can't really give that information, but that is the minimum traffic. It has increased. Traffic count on Kentucky 1939 is segmented. In contrast, past Castle Boulevard, the AADT is 901 vehicles, and Hume-Bedford Road is 1,746. This segment of Kentucky 1939, 27 to Castle Boulevard, does not need any additional businesses adding to already congested traffic. Per the 2017 Comprehensive Plan, the Planning Commission is tasked with ensuring that new and existing roads and arterials have the capacity to handle new development. At this time, Bethlehem Road from 27 to Castle Boulevard does not have the capacity and is not safe to add business development. So due to the increased traffic, the next big concern, of course, is public safety. Attached, Exhibit 2 is a weighted safety needs for fiscal year 2025 that the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety created. When the county is in the top 20, it has a safety concern. This map shows that Bourbon County is ranked 14th overall out of 120 counties. That's not good to be ranked low in this. When combining collisions, fatalities, serious injuries, impaired collisions, and several other rankings, we rank 56 in population. This data is contrast to 2020 data where we did not rank in the top 40 in safety concern. The second map attached, Exhibit 3. As stated above, increased traffic poses a safety hazard, especially to children and the elderly, right beside the school. Bourbon County buses pick up children on Bethlehem Road at the intersection of Rolling Acres, exactly where this business is wanting to go in. Changing this property to B2 would pose a serious safety risk to those children getting on and off the buses. The applicant's narrative that the property is undesirable for single-family residential use due to increasing traffic only further supports their opposition that adding a business will further the unsafe conditions for children, other pedestrians, and drivers on this road. Kentucky law emphasizes the importance of public safety on zoning decisions, and we believe that this factor alone warrants denying the zone change from R5 to B2. The third concern, housing. Per the attached Exhibit 4, current 2024 Kentucky housing supply gap, Kentucky has an overall housing gap of 206,207 units, with the gap split relatively evenly between rental units and for sale units. For Bourbon County, that gap is 824 units, split between rental units needed of 355 and for sale units needed of 469. Why would we take a residence and change it to a business when we need housing in Bourbon County? That was one of the big arguments the last time I was here, that we were opposing property off of Westridge Lane. There are at least 45 empty business spaces in Paris that can be used for a coffee shop. Bourbon County Envision 2040 Comprehensive Plan draft states, encourage the reuse, redevelopment of declining commercial and industrial areas. So why are we not taking those properties, fixing them up so that they can be businesses and not taking housing that is needed, and also for the safety? For the reasons above, we respectfully ask the planning and zoning not to deny the zoning change. However, they approved it. Once the public comments were over, in July, we went back. The board discussed and then voted. They mentioned a variance request by the applicant. At the planning and zoning meeting on July 17th, they said a variance was not requested by the applicant, that a fence and shrubbery was going to be on the side of the property facing Rolling Acres. I had also put in there about the pictures, but the attorney says I can't show those. However, several of the commissioners did receive letters from their neighbors discussing several student pedestrians being struck by cars. My dad, who drove a scooter, was also struck on that road. Per Kentucky state law, towns have a duty to ensure that zoning regulations, including changes, protect the public's health, safety, and general welfare. This means that zoning changes should not create conditions that pose a significant risk to residents, such as increasing traffic congestion, allowing incompatible land uses, or neglecting safety regulations. Changing this property from R5 to B2 will have a negative safety impact to this already dangerous road. And this zone change would not be consistent with the current 2017 comprehensive plan, which the city has not adopted another comprehensive plan, so you have to go by the 2017 comprehensive plan. On October 1st, there was a public meeting by the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. I think all the commissioners attended that, I believe. I think I saw several there, and I saw the mayor there. The purpose of that project was to improve the reliability and reduce congestion of Kentucky 1939 between the Bourbon County School Bus Barn and US 27 in Paris, including addressing the congestion of the intersection at US 27. Initially, I was going to ask whether you had an update on that, but the Kentucky Transportation provided me an update. Has the city received that yet?
No.
Okay. So this was from Dave Greenwell, who was in charge of this project. The preferred alternative, so I think everyone saw the alternatives correctly, correct?
We had three out.
There were three alternatives. The preferred alternative is going to be a combination of alternate A and alternate B, which will include a roundabout at Matlack. So that will take some of that property that the attorney was saying to 7 acres, because a roundabout is going to go there at Matlack. And intersection improvement at US 27. They are updating their project website, which I can give you here, transportation.kentucky.gov. They also informed me that the project will start hopefully in 2026, if not early 2027. At the last planning and zoning meeting, one of the members had asked the attorney whether they had a traffic study. We have air traffic information. I don't know if they presented you with a traffic study. However, traffic up there stops right at Rolling Acres. That's where the bus is. That's where the traffic stops in the mornings at school. And so trying to get into that property that they are wanting to put a coffee shop in is, you're going to have, if somebody is going south and making a left turn, how are they going to get in there? There's going to be multiple accidents. It's not safe. And so that was about the traffic study. Due to the opposition reasons we listed above, we ask that you vote not to accept the planning and zoning recommendation to change 195 Bethlehem Road from R5 to B2, and vote no to a zone change. On behalf of the Westridge Neighborhood Association, we thank you for your time. We also had over 250 signatures, but I can't present those because they weren't presented to the planning and zoning. Thank you.
Thanks, Connie.
Thank you.
Any questions that you have for me?
And I think everyone that had signed up was just deferring to Ms. Dampier. Okay. So with that, there's no, we need either a motion to approve the ordinance or a motion to reject the recommendation of the planning commission. And then a second, then you all can have discussion if you want.
Right, we have to have a motion before we can discuss.
Motion second.
So to approve the zone change 2025-18.
Got a motion second?
Any discussion?
Who was the second?
Ms. Wallace.
What the only, I don't say not the only thing, the thing I was thinking about that Connie brought up, when, again, I found this, and this is maybe a copy, this is Connie, this is kind of something like what we saw out there, what, a year and a half ago or something like that. I think it was something like that. Anyway, it looks more like, number 3, I think there was 1, 2, and 3. It's when we were out there that day. This looks kind of very similar to that, but I found that out on the website. But again, with that, in my opinion, the roundabout will calm the traffic down. And then part of the issue that the traffic has is they're going to also change the entrance into the, as I understood it, into the current school now, where you come in off of 27 and turn within, I don't know, 100 feet, or whatever the number is, and you try to turn left. That's where it really jams it up. But hoping that they're going to spend several $1 million out here on this project, they better.
And I think, so that everyone knows, I can see what you're holding at. It's one of the drawings from the Department of
It's
Education,
one of those drawings from the.
which has been the subject of many, many public hearings.
Right.
It's on the Department of Highways website.
Right.
Everyone has access to that. Any other discussion points? Okay, with that, a roll call.
They're changing.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Plummer,
Yes.
Commissioner Brooks,
Yes.
Commissioner Fields,
No.
Gray,
No.
Commissioner Galbraith.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, thank you, Brian. If there's any, you all are welcome to stay.
And the tax ordinance is next.
Remainder of the agenda.
Yeah. It
Um,
only gets better.
but if you do, wish to leave, then we'll have to do so at this point. So, like I said, you're welcome to stay.
Not you.
Not you, Commissioner. Item 6B, on your, agenda, 6B on your agenda is the levy of 2025-2026 ad valorem taxes and a series of ordinances, for the ensuing, year. Brian, I think I'm gonna hand it over to you to talk about, that and reading of the ordinances.
Yeah, so just a little preface to that. You have the form that looks like it was created in about 1984, which the Revenue Cabinet requires. And we're happy that they give us the form, which in literally every city in the state does this. And frankly, I think most counties and even school districts use it too. So this form, you can explain too, but the process is the PVA's office fills this out, officially sends it to the city clerk. We then take it, she then takes it, passes it along to you, and there's a rubric that everyone uses to follow. And of course, there's multiple statutes that sets out the process and what happens at each level. You all thankfully understand the compensating rate, so I don't have to try to explain that. which I appreciate that. So that
That's
is
a whole workshop.
that is a whole workshop. So that's the total value of all property, all real property, all land in the city of Paris. Is $844,877,454. There's other impacts under Kentucky law, like that affects your borrowing rate and those things for different types of cities. And then there's tangible property, motor vehicles, and watercraft. So with that, we then look at what the compensating rate is, what the 4% rate is. Those spreadsheets and charts are in there that I guess Brad and Stephanie and others have prepared. So Brad had to be out of town today. What he had, I guess, talked to Mr. Belcher about was perhaps setting up a workshop at some point in time, and then look to probably would have to have the public hearing and a second reading.
September.
Probably
the
outside
first
the special
meeting.
meeting.
Yeah, special meeting in September, yes.
So the recommendation that was put forward was a new proposed rate of 11.23 cents. Current rate is 10.70. That is ahead of the compensating rate for real property. So let me just, as you all know, I read all these ordinances, so bear with me. So first would be ordinance 2025-19. In whatever form you ultimately approve it. This ordinance levies City of Paris ad valorem taxes for general municipal purposes for the fiscal year of 25-26 on real property within the city, within the taxing jurisdiction of the City of Paris at the rate of 11 cents point 23 per $100 of assessed valuation. This is for the general purpose of this general support, of the government of the City of Paris and the payment of all of its debts and expenses for fiscal year 25-26. There be and hereby are levied ad valorem taxes on each $100 of the January 2025 assessed valuation by the Bourbon County Property Valuation Administrator of all real property within the taxing jurisdiction of the city at the rate of $0.1123. All taxes not paid by 4:30 p.m. on December 30th, 2025 shall be subject to a penalty of 10% plus interest at the rate of 12% per year. Closely following along with that would be for motor vehicles and watercraft. This ordinance levies City of Paris ad valorem taxes for general municipal purposes for fiscal year 25-26 on personal property other than motor vehicles and watercraft. Sorry, I gotta have this. So this is personal property, not vehicles. Within the taxing jurisdiction of the City of Paris, which shall be at the rate of $0.1847 per $100 assessed valuation. This is for the purpose of the general support of the government of the City of Paris and the payment of its debts and expenses for fiscal year 25-26. There be and hereby are levied ad valorem taxes on each $100 of the January 1, 2025 assessed valuation by the Bourbon County Property Valuation Administrator of all personal properties other than motor vehicles and watercraft within the taxing jurisdiction of the City of Paris, which shall be at the rate of $0.1847. All taxes not paid by 4:30 p.m. on the 30th day of December 2025 shall be subject to a penalty of 10% plus interest at the rate of 12% interest per year. Third, for the vehicles. An ordinance levying City of Paris ad valorem taxes for general municipal purposes for the calendar year of 2026 on motor vehicles and watercraft within the taxing jurisdiction of the city, which shall be at the rate of $0.17 per $100 of assessed valuation. These two are done for the purpose of the general support of the government of the City of Paris and the payment of its debts and expenses for the calendar year 2026. Remember, vehicles and watercraft run calendar, the others run fiscal year. There be and hereby are levied ad valorem taxes on each $100 of the January 1, 2026 assessed valuation by the Bourbon County Property Valuation Administrator of all motor vehicles and watercraft within the taxing jurisdiction of the City of Paris, which shall be at the rate of $0.17. This ordinance takes effect upon passage and publication with an effective date of January 1, 2026. And then, as you all have traditionally done, we've assumed you want to do that continuing going forward, given its frankly success rate. Is that when these ordinances are all passed, the city will also allow for a discount on the real property tax to be paid early, we'll call it that way. So therefore be it ordained by the City of Paris City Commission that this board desires to allot for a discount for early payment of ad valorem taxes on real property. Any 2025 real property ad valorem tax that is paid in full on or before November 26, 2025 shall be discounted by the amount of 2%. In order to qualify for this discount, the entire discounted payment must be received by the city here at the municipal building, 525 High Street, no later than 4:30 p.m. Wednesday, November 26, 2025. That's the day before Thanksgiving.
Do we have a
So with that,
motion?
Just first reading.
First reading, okay.
so with that, it's just, do you want to set the, if we go with these rates, it would require the public hearing, set that as a special meeting, and have the second reading at that time. You're not up against the deadline, but early September really needs to be done.
So we're looking at September 5th. It's a Friday for public hearing.
At what time?
9 o'clock.
So and speaking with Brad yesterday, so either the 22nd or the 29th.
For workshop.
For the workshop.
Okay. And it shouldn't take a lot of time. It's the explanation.
Because our current budget is based upon the 4%.
Correct. That's what I
Yes.
understood, right?
Correct.
Brad just said.
That's right.
When you all were going through your budget process, looking at that, you're anticipating taking 4%. So.
And it's just gonna be the workshop will
Yeah.
explain that
Yeah.
and the actual numbers of what they are, and where we got there.
I did a calculation, and on $100,000 assessed property, it's $5.30. Would be
Going from the current rate to the
yes,
proposed.
yes, it would be $5.30.
So the reason for the September 5th public hearing is we have to run an advertisement and there has to be a period of
That's right,
time
2 weeks.
in advance of the public hearing. So kind of put all those threads together to land on that day.
On our workshop date, would anybody mind if we met maybe like after 1?
Sure. On the 20s, are you looking at the 22nd or the 29th?
It doesn't matter, either one of those days.
What's good for others? Good. What she needs. So at 1, Commissioner? Or after 1?
After 1.
After
I get off work at
Let's
1,
say
1:30.
30?
Which days?
Is there a preference?
No, you're talking Friday, the 22nd, right?
Of all, yeah, go to August.
August, yeah, for the mayor had said.
So Friday, either August the 22nd or the 29th at 1:30.
22nd, let's
22nd,
do it as quickly as possible.
And that'll give us time to run the ad according to.
Well, the ad is for the public hearing, not the workshop.
Okay.
Yeah, not for the,
Okay.
So it looks
That work.
Yeah, EDA, we'd be.
But at 1:30.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
EDA should be done,
One would hope. Thanks.
never know.
Does that work for the commission? Very good. Yeah.
So we can wrap all that up in one motion if you want me to try to restate it. That there'll be a workshop from the commission to address tax rates on August the 22nd at 1:30. That there'll be a public hearing at 9 a.m. on September 5th.
that's also Friday.
And we'll set a special meeting, same time, special meeting to take up the second reading of all these ordinances as well as the discount.
Do we need a motion? Second or whatever, that's fine.
That's a motion.
That's a motion and a second. Do we have a second? Second, by Commissioner Brooks. Good. All in favor?
Alright,
Motion carries. All right. Item 7 on your agenda is a consent agenda. Would any other member of the commission like to raise any of the items for further discussion or comment? Anything? Discuss further on that? All right. Do we have a motion to accept the consent agenda? Motion by the mayor, second. Second by Commissioner Brooks, all in favor?
alright,
Motion carries. Item 8 on the agenda, we didn't have anything for the regular agenda. Moving on to number 9, reports from outside agencies here or cities. Betty Ann? Hi, Betty Ann. Good to see you. It's been a while. Yeah. Yeah. You're behind the chair. I didn't see you. Thank you.
People on profile.
You can't do that.
I was just sitting back there when Mr. Trumbo was talking. You all went in June, the governor announced the Kentucky African American Heritage Trail. So through the Kentucky Tourism Arts and Heritage, there might be some funding if somebody could let Mr. Trumbo know that. So Bourbon County is on the trail, so that might be help. There's 50 sites across the state, and Bourbon County is one of them, and it's Hopewell Museum, which is the site. So maybe he could get some funding through there. Circus is in town. They put the big top up yesterday, and it is today and tomorrow. So everybody head out to the circus. It's at Legion Park. Also, the first 5K run in the Triple Crown Series was held this past weekend at Hillendale Farm. The next leg of the run is at Stonerside Farm, and it's on September 13th. And the final leg is at Stone Farm on October 4th. And of course, all these are being held in conjunction with the Legends of Bourbon County Festival, which is October 11th and 12th, which is a Saturday and a Sunday. And Saturday is the gala, and Sunday is the all-day family fun day in downtown Paris. So if you want more information about that, you can go to the Legends of Bourbon County Festival.com. Let's see, September 20th is the Pumpkin Festival, and they're still accepting vendors, right, Stephanie?
Yes.
September 26th is Meet Me at the Market, and that is at Farmers Market, and the operative word there is meet. It's MEAT at the market. So that was a very successful event last year. WLEX TV, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but have you seen it?
Yes.
Have been running our new commercial. It's 15 seconds, so if you bat your eyes, you might miss it. But in conjunction with the commercial, they're doing an e-blast. We've been on their LEX Facebook page with the Best of the Bluegrass, which Allison and I went to week before last, and that showed 2 times on their TV site, and that's about it with them.
Emails too, if you.
Yes, it's an
subscribe to
e-blast,
it.
yes.
Yeah,
Have you got one of those?
yeah, I've got a couple already.
Cool. So we're out there in the face of the public. It was the little horse last time, and now it's, the premise on this one is we're the only place where there's 2 Eiffel Towers. We're the only place where you can drink your bourbon in Bourbon County, blah, blah, et cetera, et cetera. So let's see, I have prepared all the ads for the fall Keeneland Blood Horse and Travel Host. I've completed the final ARPA legislative report, and I'm praying that it just stays in Frankfurt. They don't send it back to me to fix anything, so fingers crossed on that one. You all know that Bourbon County was featured at the Legends Ball game with Mayor Plummer throwing out the first pitch. And
Been an attraction since.
yeah, that's right. And so that was well attended. It was a great night, and everybody that was there had a lot of fun. Kathy Working, who's on our tourism board, Not that this has anything to do with tourism, but I like to see my board members out doing things, Sharon. She's working closely with the Presbyterian Church, and they have turned the basement into the Paris Community Center. So they've already been holding community meetings, art classes. Kathy has started a women in leadership group, and that the next meeting is on August the 18th at 6:30, and all women in the community are invited. The space is available for anybody to use. Just contact Kathy if you're looking for a space for something. Last week, we had visitors in from Alabama, California, and Barcelona, Spain, which was pretty cool. I've reordered 1,000 brochures for state distribution in the welcome centers. They're giving them out like crazy. Every time I think I've sent them enough, they call me back and say, send me some more. So I've reordered those. And then, if Allison wants to come up here, you all had a city-county meeting, and we were asked, Chamber and Tourism, to coordinate, we're saying coordinate, not put it on, the birthday celebration, America 250. So we got asked the week before,
Week before, had a meeting the
had a
following week.
meeting the following week at the library, so.
So we had a
got
really
on
good
right away.
turnout. Did you count how many? We never talked about that, but, I mean, we had, the paper was there, we had, of course, Sharon was there, there were 4
DAB.
gentlemen from the DAB there, and a lot of really awesome ideas were thrown around. Sharon had to kind of reel us in a little bit, but,
We have no budget.
yeah, so she had to reel us in a little bit, but we have so many different plans to basically celebrate the entire year of 2026. We were looking at a lot of the different, federal holidays and coming up with ideas that we can implement and just kind of, like I said, celebrate the whole year. So.
Also, in addition, Judy Hudson
And
is,
Judy was
of
there
course,
for the count.
on the committee, so, plans for, something big going on at, the park during the week of 4th of July. Possibly some other things going on specifically during that week, but we thought it'd be great just to take what we do all year long and celebrate all year long. So, with that said, the next meeting is August 27th at 4:30 at the library. And we put that out there on Facebook, and when we see somebody, we ask them to come. So we need as many representatives from as many places as we can get, because we need as many people as we can to put this together. And we've already had, now if you come to our meeting, y'all, you're gonna have to step up. So
We're gonna delegate.
come with an idea that you can do, big or small, so. That's all I have.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Chamber, you
Want me to just stay?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to working with you, Mr. Belcher. I'm Allison.
Well, yes.
I'm just gonna give you all a quick update on what we've got going on. Since the last time I reported to you all at Commission, we've brought on 5 new chamber members. Previous events that we've done since I've seen you last, we had our second of 3 festivals off 5th. As you all know, we have moved that to All About Kentucky due to the impending downtown entertainment district, but we've pivoted and it's worked out really, really wonderfully. So we're able to contain all of our concert goers, to the back patio of All About Kentucky. And so we are still within the law there and having a great time while we're doing it. So the Coffee and Commerce, we did one on August 1st. Those are going really well. I will say, in past, I've said we're going to do a 9 a.m. one month and then a 2 p.m. the next month and alternate those. We have found that the 2 p.m. is not well attended. So again, we're pivoting and we're just doing those at 9 a.m. So basically, to get you up to date, Mr. Belcher, we do Coffee and Commerce, which is a chamber members only networking. It's the first Friday of every month, and we typically have a presenting host who then in turn gets 20 minutes to talk about their business or their organization, any referrals or support they're looking for. And then we choose two additional businesses or organizations who get 10 minutes to present on their business organization needs and wants. So the most recent one we did, like I said, August 1st, it was at the library. We had 17 people in attendance, and Bluegrass Care Navigators was our presenting speaker. So we learned a lot about how they're serving Bourbon County. We also heard from Row Runner Makery, which is a small in-home business. She does laser cut acrylic and wood and just different craft type items. And then we also heard from the Table at Paris, which is run by Kristen Klaus. She owns the Transformation Center downtown Paris, and they do a free community meal every month. So it was really neat to see all the different connections that happened. I know Bluegrass Care got several different offers for volunteer work and things like that. And then Row Runner Makery, she got to talk to a couple of folks about maybe going to kids' birthday parties and doing some different craft stuff. And then the Table at Paris, she's starting to work on some different initiatives. So she was able to connect and get some different support there. So those continue to be successful, and we'll just keep moving on with them and letting them grow. I also attended the Professional Learning Day for Bourbon County Schools. That was on August 4th, and the chamber set up a table. Mostly my focus was on leadership Bourbon County and youth leadership Bourbon County, but of course, educating the teachers, administration on what we do as a chamber to support the educational initiatives in Paris and Bourbon County. Basically, the teachers and administrators were in 1-hour sessions, and then they would get a 15-minute break. So we were set up in the gym for them to be able to come through on those breaks and talk with us. Like I said, I focused on the leadership programming, and I had lots of teachers that didn't know anything about that and would love to participate at some point. And then, of course, I was able to talk up our youth leadership program for our juniors at Bourbon and Paris High School. So made some great connections. That was awesome. Upcoming events, we have our last festival off 5th. That's on Friday, August 22nd. We'll have Southern Days out as our entertainment. Tolentino's Barbecue, I believe Kona Ice, and a couple of other food trucks and vendors. We have coming up our Leadership Bourbon County Orientation. That's this coming up Monday and Tuesday, the 18th and 19th. That'll be at Mustard Seed Hill. We'll basically do a couple of different workshops and breakout sessions just so that the participants can get to know one another on a personal level, professional level. And then just a little FYI, September 9th, we will be hosting them for City and County Government Day. So historically, we have allowed them to sit in on a commission meeting. And Wallace and I are in conversation about a Robert's Rules of Order workshop before. So that's something for you to look forward to. We'll be gracing you with our presence on September the 9th. Lastly, for upcoming events, we do have, like I said, Coffee and Commerce is the first Friday of every month. So our next one will be on Friday, September 5th. It is going to be at the Hopewell Museum, and Hopewell Museum is our presenting speaker. So we'll get to hear from them. For about 20
What time was that?
It's at 9 a.m. until 10 a.m. So we'd love to have any and all of you present if you're available. So coming off the summer, it's been a super busy summer with our 5K and with our golf scramble and all the different events that we've been involved in. So we are kind of going into that slower season, focused on leadership, Bourbon County. But a big focus for me right now is really honing in on business and organization visits, learning about what they're offering, how I can help support them. So I'll be kind of reporting on what I've been able to accomplish with that when I see you all next. But I'm headed over to Hometown Health and Hydration tomorrow, and I've been over to Divine Spirits and a couple of other different updates. So that's been an exciting piece of it too. And then lastly, we're gonna get ready to start planning for our Christmas parade and the tree lighting ceremony. So that's on the horizon. It's kind of sneaking up on me, but we're there. So, that's about all I've got. Any questions for me?
Thanks for your questions.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I got one quick question, the entertainment, where are we with that? I mean, that's been something that.
We're just, basically need to turn our fee in and we should be approved, right, President?
We're approved, we're just pending to pay the fee whenever you all like to. Kind of held off until, the administration got in back.
Just to brief in what's going on and where we're at. So
I can see the signs around.
Yeah.
we're good to go.
Yeah.
Just some money left to change hands.
So y'all know it doesn't cover that location.
Right, I'm just, yeah.
One issue doesn't solve it.
Right.
Thank you.
Anything else, Commissioner?
Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Look forward to working with you.
Can we get Vanessa up here for 2 minutes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you tell us about your activities in Chicago?
I had 4 minutes in Chicago.
Okay.
Give you five. I'll give you five.
Excuse
Hey, clerk.
So you wouldn't run over. Hi, my name's Vanessa Logan, as you all know, and I'm the president of the Paris Westside Neighborhood Association. First thing I'd like to say is, City of Paris and Bourbon County should be proud of how they worked on this transfer station. It's not happening all over the world, and we spoke to people from as far as Alaska. So you need to really be proud of that. These are the things that we talked about, that I talked about there. Our study for the West Side, our reference call list that residents wanted, the feasibility study for the transfer station, and the, when we went around and did the survey of what they wanted the old station to look like. So there were 5 speakers there. I was first. Jaleesa from Groundworks was second. She talked about what they did for us and how they helped us do next steps. Then we had Russell Clark, who was there from the National Parks and Rec, and he presented this of what the transfer station, what we want it to look like when we can go in after the EPA gives us the final, what's gonna go on and what we'd like it to look like in the future. That's the concept. And then Sherry Weedman, she was last. And this is what Tetra Tech provided, and it's on the Paris website, the roadmap. And we talked about this roadmap and how it won't be finished until the park is finished over there. But that was a good conference. It was amazing, and what people are not getting support is what people talk to me about, how local government is just not supporting these things. You know, they have all these brownfield sites and they need work, and EPA is there to help them, but getting local government on board was the biggest problem that I had people come up and talk to me about. It was amazing. That conference was a good conference, and we had a lot of good questions. So be proud of all the work that was done.
Do you know how many people attended?
Our conference, our session, I say we had like 30 people in the room.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was for 4 days. So a lot of people were leaving like that. We were the last to speak. So a lot of people were leaving that Friday morning. And the former city manager was there. Darren was there. He was there only 1 day, so he didn't attend our meeting because he left that morning.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
You did a sprout.
You know what? I had a good time.
Y'all do that.
Yeah.
Now, again, Ms. Vanessa, where was it? This was Chicago?
Chicago.
Was
yes.
not Las Vegas. It was
No.
Chicago.
It was Chicago. It was at McCormick Place. If any of you have been to McCormick Place? It is the size of the city of Paris.
Oh, wow.
So when you park, you better have your working shoes on.
So if I can update you on that, Pat Darnell did the survey, drew the plat. I wouldn't say without trouble, I'm sure they spent some time. It's signed, planning commission signed, it's recorded. Talked to plat's recorded, talked to G. Davis yesterday, should have the deed this week for you and the judge's signature. I've sent everything to Ms. Weedman, so. All on pace.
It's the project's moving forward, so,
Yeah.
thank you.
Sure, Leaving will be happy to know that.
Yeah, I sent it to her.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. Well, I'd make that a copy.
You
I'll copy
did, you did.
Yeah.
Right before you left.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thanks, Vanessa.
Okay.
Thanks.
Michelle, did you have anything from, in terms of planning and zoning?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
So the most exciting news that I have is as of next Monday, August 18th, we will be fully staffed again. First time in over a year that we've been fully staffed. Well, I say fully staffed, we're 3.5 now. Bobby is back with us. However, he is on restricted duty. He will not be driving. So I have to take him out and drive him around when I'm on my way out. So he is back in the office. He is taking complaints, things of that nature. We do get out at least twice a week to do our rounds within the community. So he is still issuing notice of violations, citations, things of that nature. For the month of July, we issued 23 building permits. 13 of those were within the city limits, 9 were in the county, and 1 was in North Middletown. We issued 41 electrical permits. 23 of those were within the county, 16 in the city, 1 in Millersburg and 1 in North Middletown. We did 3 address requests. Those were all for Bourbon County. There was 1 street cut permit. There were no stream construction permits, and there were 36 building inspections performed. 9 of those were in the county, 27 in the city, none in Millersburg or North Middletown. We had for a total of 12 planning and zoning permits for the month. Code enforcement, there were 17 issued. Keep in mind, that was the time that Bobby was off, therefore not much was being done on code enforcement. 16 of those were within the city limits, 1 was in the county. We issued 4 water taps and 6 sewer taps for the month of July. And our next Board of Adjustments meeting is next week, is August 19th. We currently have 7 cases on the agenda. That one will be at 5:30. Our next P&Z meeting will be August 21st at 6:30. We currently only have 1 thing on the agenda, and that's a development plan. Our next TRC meeting is August 25th at 1:30. At this point, we don't have any idea what's on that agenda yet because the deadline isn't here yet. As for our new building inspector, Stephen Watson, he was hired as of last night in the fiscal court. He has 20+ years of experience in building inspection. Recently has come from the city of Frankfurt. He has worked for FEMA. He has worked for state. He trained building inspectors for FEMA during Katrina down there. So he's got quite a bit of experience under his belt. So other than that, that's all I've got, unless you guys have questions.
Any questions, comments for Michelle? Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any staff, city staff would like to have any comments or questions, concerns? No, we got one. This will be his last meeting officially, right? Oh, well, you still got one more. Okay, I was getting ahead of myself. Chief. I knew there was good.
No vacation to burn or anything?
I was trying to get anticipated. Absolutely not. Chief Thomas, you have anything? I would just like to say, I look forward to working with all the city staff. Again, some of you have worked with in the past, getting to know those who I haven't worked with. So I look forward to that. I'm officially on board, and it feels like I've been here for 2 weeks and working with Mike. But look forward to working with all of you, and certainly if you have any questions for me, I'll be available to you as well. As well as the city commission. So thank you again, and I look forward to working with you all. Some of you have worked with in the past, and those of you I haven't worked with, I look forward to that. So, but from the staff point, that's all I had. And then Mayor of the Commission, if you have anything, Mayor, Commissioner Brooks,
No.
Mr. Fields,
Just welcome.
Mr. Gregg,
Welcome back.
thank you. Thank you,
I
Commissioner.
look forward to working with you as well.
Thank you.
Welcome
Commissioner Gallagher.
back, and I think, Shay, is today your last day?
Yeah, shout out to
Well,
Shay.
Good luck to you. Thanks for everything you've done
Absolutely.
while you were
Yes,
here.
Did want to just echo, thank you so much for everything that you all have done for me. Definitely credit me for big things coming up.
I was gonna say, there you're going. City of Richmond, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, good. Good luck to you. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Best of luck to you, Shay.
With that, there's nothing
You
else.
need,
Before executive session, just so y'all know, this happens from time to time. Had a property owner in the city selling their property. They discovered, they think about a 100-year-old alley that not only did they not know was there, we didn't know was there. But it does look on old deeds, like there's an old city alley we need to close. We've done this maybe 5-6 years, this comes up. So I'll do the process of getting the notarized consent. We then have to include that with the ordinance, and hopefully that will be set for first reading next time. This one's a little gnarly. There's like 2 alleys. So we'll do 2 ordinances. I think everyone's in agreement. So none of them knew it was there either. So with that, if I could have a motion to go into executive session pursuant to KRS 61.810(1)C for discussion of pending litigation on behalf of the city.
So moved.
Second.